If you've never heard of the jujube tree before, you're not alone. 10 years ago, I would have probably walked right past one of these in the nursery without giving it a second thought. But if somebody told me I could only choose 3 fruit trees for the Arizona desert, jujube tree would be on the top of that list. Not because it has the biggest fruit, not because they're the sweetest, and certainly not because it's the prettiest tree. It's because over the last decade, it has quietly become one of the hardest working fruit trees in my entire food forest. It survives the brutal heat, literally has no pest or infestation problems, and requires almost nothing from me. It feeds the pollinators, it feeds my goats, and it feeds the soil. And before this video is over, I'm gonna show you how this one tree literally pays me to own it. Hey, I'm Josh with Desert Gardens Homestead. I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for stopping in to check out this video as well as this channel. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and share the video with somebody you know. Now let's get on to the jujube tree. I don't fall in love with fruit trees easily. Around here, trees have to earn their place. Some struggle in the summer heat. Some fruit inconsistently. Others need constant fertilizer or extra attention. But this old contorted jujube tree does the exact opposite. It's been growing here for about 10 years. It's about 8 to 10 feet tall, maybe 6 or 7 feet wide. But don't let its size fool you. If every fruit tree in my garden worked this hard, I'd have a whole lot less work to do. In the near decade that it's been growing here, I've never fertilized it, never had to spray it. It's never had any insect damage, never had any disease. And every year, it just continues to reward me with another incredible harvest. Sometimes the most important or valuable fruit tree in your garden isn't the one demanding your attention. It's the one quietly doing exactly what it was designed to do. Arizona has a way of exposing weak fruit trees. Some scorch, some stop growing, others drop their fruit before it ever ripens. The jujube tree just seems to shrug and ask, "Is that all you got?" Now I do irrigate mine, probably a lot more than what it needs. In the heat of the summer, it gets between 2 to 4 hours of drip irrigation every 4 days. Pretty much the same as the rest of my fruit trees. Considerably less in the spring and fall, and practically nothing in the wintertime besides some winter rain. Could it survive on less? Absolutely. But surviving and thriving are two different things. I like to think of watering like feeding an athlete. A professional athlete could survive just on junk food. But if you want peak performance, you have to feed them well. And that's how I treat my jujube trees. And they reward me for it every single year. One thing I've learned over the years is that heat doesn't build character. It reveals it. And every Arizona summer, this tree reminds me of exactly why it's near the top of my list. Most fruit trees make you wait all year just to dump their fruit on you within a week or two. Jujube refuses to rush. Mine begin ripening around May and continue producing well into September, sometimes even longer. That means every time I walk past this tree, there's usually something ready to eat. Hmm. Hmm. Flavor changes as the fruit continues to ripen. Early on, it almost tastes like a green, crisp apple. As it begins to turn brown, the sweetness continues to increase. Eventually, it almost tastes like a caramelized candy apple. I actually prefer the taste of the contorted over the GA 866, which is another variety I grow here. The 866 is incredibly sweet, almost too sweet for my taste, but that's completely subjective. Some people love it, but the nice thing is, you don't have to harvest everything at once. One branch can hold multiple stages of ripeness. The tree allows you to harvest at your own pace. Another thing I really appreciate is the fruit hangs remarkably well. You're harvesting when it's convenient for you, not because the tree's forcing your hand. Now, everything I've shown you so far would already be enough for me to recommend this tree, but I haven't even shown you my favorite part yet. Let's take a look. Remember when I said this tree actually pays me to own it? This is what I meant. When most people walk past these, they think they're weeds. When I walk past them, I see future fruit trees. These aren't random seedlings. This contorted jujube grows on its own roots instead of a grafted rootstock. That means that every sucker coming out of the ground is another contorted jujube, not rootstock, not some mystery variety, another fruit-producing tree. I've probably got 30, 40, or maybe even 50 suckers coming up just this season. Some have traveled 20, 30, or even 40 feet from the mother tree. And do you know how expensive jujubes are in the store? They are a very high-priced tree. And on a conservative level, if this mother tree gives me even 30 jujubes each season at say $20, that's $600 a season this tree is giving me. And that's on the conservative side. If you let them, they'll happily start building their own little jujube forest. For some people, that might be a downside. But for me, it's one of the biggest advantages. In the fall, when these trees go dormant, I'll dig these up, pot them out, and grow them, and then sell them through my plant nursery. Most fruit trees cost you money, but this tree occasionally pays you back some. Think about that. That's hard to complain about. If you're in the market for a jujube or planning to add one into your food forest, I would seriously consider whether or not you wanted a grafted tree or one growing on its own rootstock. There's nothing wrong with grafted trees, but for me, the ability to create dozens of identical fruit-bearing fruit trees over time without having to graft is a huge advantage. Can you hear that? Every year, when these trees bloom, the entire food forest changes. I've grown a lot of fruit trees, but honestly, I don't think there's another fruit tree here that attracts pollinators quite like this one. The flowers aren't particularly flashy. They're actually pretty small, but apparently the bees don't get the memo, because they absolutely cover this tree. And those pollinators don't stop here. They're visiting everything nearby. Sometimes one great pollinator tree ends up helping your entire garden. What's up, big boy? My goats absolutely love these branches. The leaves, the small stems, and even the fruit. I mean, jujube is a superfood after all. So what starts as pruning turns into livestock feed. And what they process turns into manure, which ends up back in the garden. It's a beautiful cycle. Even after the growing season, this tree is still working. It's deciduous. Every fall, those leaves become mulch. Fruit that isn't harvested feeds the insects, the microbes, and the soil life. That's fertility being built naturally, not from a bag. Jujube has also been valued for centuries in traditional medicine. It's often considered a nutrient-dense fruit rich in antioxidants and vitamin C. And many people enjoy it fresh, dried, or brewed into tea. Now, I'm not making any claims here. I just think it's a fascinating part of the tree's long history. Personally, most of mine never make it that far. I usually eat them fresh right off the tree or feed them to my goats. Now, as much as I love this tree, it's not perfect. Let's talk about a few things you should know before planting one. The first are the thorns. And trust me, you'll know when you found one. Ouch! Yep, still there. The second problem are all those suckers. If your tree's growing on its own roots like mine, it wants to spread. Some of these have traveled 20, 30, and even 40 feet away from the mother tree. If you don't want a little jujube grove, you'll need to remove them every so often. Personally, I look forward to seeing them. I know each one has potential to become another fruit tree, but I don't notice the GA 866 doing this, even though it hasn't been in the ground so long. So if your tree wants to spread on rootstock, that would be an even bigger problem, because really, unless you really like to graft, it would be almost pointless to bear out into fruit-bearing trees. There are varying varieties of jujube, some with larger fruit, some with smaller fruit. But on this particular variety, the contorted, they're about a large marble size in that diameter. And they actually have a fairly large seed inside. And so that would be the only other drawback, is that the seed is fairly large for the fruit size. And when I share these with family or friends, I always have to warn them about the seed in the interior. But that's a pretty small problem, and one that I don't count as anything significant. So, who do I think should plant a jujube? If you're in zone 6 through 10, and you live somewhere with long, hot summers, especially the Southwest, I honestly think this tree deserves to be near the top of your list. They're self-fertile, extremely drought tolerant once established, incredibly productive, and they require very little to no maintenance. They rarely have insect or disease issue, produce for months instead of weeks. They support pollinators, feed livestock, and feed the soil. And if you choose an own root tree, they might even provide your next generation of fruit trees and even make you a few bucks. Those are some pretty remarkable qualities. If you're already growing jujube, I would love to hear your experience. What's your favorite variety? And does yours send up suckers? Especially if it's grafted. Inquiring minds would like to know. Do you enjoy the fruit fresh and crisp like an apple, or fully ripened and candy sweet? Drop a comment down below. I read every single one. And if you're looking to plant a jujube for the first time, I hope this video helped you decide whether or not it's right for your garden. If you like to watch practical videos like this on growing food in the desert, I invite you to subscribe. And thanks so much for spending some time with me today. And until next time, green thumbs, God bless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody. And remember, the best gardens aren't built by working harder. They're built by choosing plants that work with you.